Jeff, it was a 3-0 defeat against Camden Town today. What's your immediate reaction about the result?
The immediate reaction is the best team probably won the game today. I thought that Camden started better than we did. They started with much more intensity than we did. They moved the ball quicker than we did, and we spent large parts of the first half chasing the game, really. So across the course of 90 minutes, I think it's probably a fair result, unfortunately.
How would you assess today's overall performance?
Again, we look like we've played sort of, the cliched game of two halves. We've come out in the second half here. We've showed a much better mentality, much more belief in what we're trying to do, and we've kept the half to 0-0. And towards the end there, we probably look like the more likely team to get the next goal. But we've got to try and do something around how we manage the game so that we can start better than these games. Because otherwise, conceding 2 or 3 goals in the first half, it's always going to make it very hard to win football matches.
It was a very young squad out today, a lot of the more experienced players missing. Do you feel that had an impact on the game at all?
Well, it can have an impact in the sense that you're missing a little bit of experience, so you think it has a negative impact. For me, I think I said a few weeks ago, as a club, we are confident that we're going to invest in developing the future of our football team, and that means going to some of the younger players. Today, I think we had 7 under-18s. I think the average age of the starting 11 today was 20. And that's probably because we've got just 1 or 2 much older players. But we've got a very, very young group out there today. I thought the best player on the pitch was a 16-year-old. So I'm delighted. There's a positive to that as well, the fact that we've used youngsters. And that's what we'll continue to do as a club.
My next question was going to be, were there any individual standout performances? You've touched on that slightly. Would you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't do it very often, but there's a girl here today whose 16th birthday was on Friday. And I thought she was probably the best player on the pitch, certainly for Greenwich Borough today. I think Jazz in 1v1 areas looks super, super dangerous. She wants to receive the ball. She doesn't mind receiving the ball with her back to goal. She wants to drive at her full back. She looked incredibly exciting today, and some of our best work is coming through her.
What lessons can you and the squad learn from today's defeat?
I think I need to take my responsibility in this, right? I always say, it's for the coach to develop the players. My job is to get these girls to improve as a football team. My job is to get them to play at the highest level they possibly can. So I need to reflect on today. Was there anything else I could have done? Does it go right the way back to how we warm up? Does that bring enough intensity into how we start matches? So I'm happy to take my responsibility into it, and I'll spend the rest of next week trying to improve for next weekend.
There was a substitution of the goalkeeper halfway through the second half. Is that any concern going forward?
We're confident that the injury that she sustained is different to the injury sustained at the end of last season. So we're confident it's something different. Obviously, we need to give her enough time to recover, and hopefully it's not what she had suffered from before. There's always a debate in this kind of level of whether or not you should bring 2 goalkeepers. We've gone with 1 goalkeeper here today. Let's see how the next week plays out.
Well, it's a home match again next week against Herne Bay. What would you change from today's team to get a positive result?
We'll have a lot more experience coming back into the group. You alluded to that. So we've got a lot more experience coming back into the group. The season started very, very early this year, and that's caught a few people that are still on holiday. So we've got a lot more experience coming back in the group, so we can lean into that. So we can probably play a first 11 that looks a little bit more like the first 11 that you will see moving forward for the next season. We'll reflect, as I said, on everything we do in the match day preparation. Have we got that right? What can we do to support these players? My job is to try and improve them, so I take my responsibility in that. So we'll review everything this week, and we'll try and change the things that we think we can change, but there's every reason to believe that moving forward we'll be in an okay place.
Okay, thank you for your time, Jeff.
Thank you.